This is just shit?
This is just what Guinness tastes like in America.
Is that Guinness?
In America.
Shit. Well, you know what? That's true. I fucking love the shit out of Guinness when I was in Dublin.
It's really good in Dublin, right?
When I was in Dublin, I loved the shit out of it.
I had it in Dublin, and it brought a tear to my eye. Although the thing is
fantastic there.
It's really good because you get the water from the Keys, right? And so it's like super fresh, and it has like that crisp, like almost mineral-y taste to it. And it's really good, and you get the hop. You get the ruby, like that ruby brightness from the malt.
You did pick up on that rubiness there. That's
yeah,
true.
and like so the thing is, like in Dublin, Guinness is great. Over here, Guinness is not that great. But I will say that in Dublin, if you have to go to Dublin, if all of you go to Dublin once in your life, you have to go to the Porterhouse. The Porterhouse makes their own beer, and they had a Christmas stout that seriously made me pre-cum. It was really good. They brought me a bottle from the cellar. They made 1,000 bottles, and they brought me one of the bottles, and I had it. Just had Christmas spice, Christmas malt, tasted like Christmas, but not like a Christmas tree. It's good stuff. Get back to Final Fantasy.
I enjoyed that tangent, though. I
did too. Yeah, because,
that one.
You know, we've been in that 360 glass sky chamber.
Yeah.
You know,
that was a nice experience.
It is, and that makes the beer taste better. You know? You look out onto Dublin, and it looks like
you just appreciate.
It looks all Dublin-y.
Yeah,
it's all Dublin-y and all shitty.
It's just really nice. You know, like you see the O'Connell Tower, and like you see all
industrialized,
all the pubs and shit. Yeah, it's industrialized in the outskirts, but like in the middle, like there's still that historical, you know, aesthetic, I guess. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a very aesthetic experience, and you get to see the cathedrals, which, you know, for me, cathedrals don't do anything.
You can appreciate the architecture.
But yeah, the architecture is just tits. You know, you
appreciate the hell out of that.
You see Stephen's Green, right? You see Stephen's Green. You see like the place where Oscar Wilde lived.
Trinity College.
Trinity College. You get to see all these awesome things.
Trinity
and you're just drinking a Guinness, and it's wonderful. So cheers.
It's just nice.
You know what? Cheers to that shitty Guinness right there. Because I will defend Guinness in Dublin.
I will too. I don't like Guinness here, but
cheers to good Guinness then.
Good Guinness.
It's okay.
From the Keys.
So let's see here. Let us get back on track. What exactly were we covering? I'm going to give it Final Fantasy right now.
Immersion.
I think we were talking about meaningful accomplishments at every level of the game.
Right.
And if that's at level 30, unlocking new classes through quests, mind you.
Yeah, so let's see here. At level 20 was Chocobo, right?
Level 20 was Choco.
Level 20 was Choco. Level 30 was new classes.
New classes.
And you needed... you had that secondary class, right? That worked. So you had your main class and the secondary class.
Rank 5 was Airship Pass.
I never got to that, right? You got to that.
Yeah. Rank 5 makes you a boss because, like you said, it takes hours to get across this map. Even with the Chocobo.
Even with the fucking Chocobo.
Fucking forever.
A fucking large map.
But once you have a airship, which you have to work for, and not everybody has one, and the game doesn't force you to get it.
I think, okay, let's establish...
No, you get an airship pass, meaning you take air trolleys.
Let's go ahead and establish what was right with MMOs right now. This is a common theme. I think it's been recurring, but we haven't mentioned it explicitly yet.
What is that?
Is having things not fucking handed out to you.
Yeah.
You had to work for these things, and that is what is intrinsic to RPGs.
And the thing is, you can
intrinsic.
Yeah. There we go.
It was transitory. Actually,
yeah,
it was.
That's right.
So you could hit max cap without getting an airship pass. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You could.
Because I mean, I'm sure you guys all know by experience as well. What made RPGs like fucking opium is this addiction. Addiction to progression. There's nothing like that. Actually seeing your progression fruition in your character.
And did you see this? Big Trouble about an hour and a half ago said that good MMORPGs are basically opium.
Oh yeah,
they're highly addictive, and they have like a peak of elation.
Give me a fucking.
But then they also make you come down, and you realize that you need to change your fucking life.
Yeah.
You didn't say that last part, but that's.
Well, that's the thing. Give me a fucking reason to come back. I don't want it if it's that easy. Just like Tupac Shakur.
Goddamn.
I don't mean to be sleazy, but tease me. I don't want it if it's that easy.
Yeah. God damn it.
That's fucking true, though, when it comes to RPGs. I mean, that's what dissuaded us from World of Warcraft, at least later.
Shall we talk about World of Warcraft now?
I think we'll have some closing statements then.
We fucking talked about this game for 10 minutes.
Really?
No, we haven't. We have not.
So many fucking
We've talked about it for 40 minutes.
No, we fucking have not.
It's the reality.
We've talked about other things throughout the game.
Well, yeah, we have done that too. But the Final Fantasy 11 conversation started. I marked it 8:30. It is now 9:10. 9:11.
This guy knows.
Oh, hold on, let's pray for 9/11. Sorry, just kidding.
Come on, man.
Bad joke.
Holy fuck. Apologize on his behalf.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You feel the same way.
Yeah. No, it's true. Spike. He said neither of them got those lyrics in the Tupac song.
It's
I used to love Tupac as a kid.
Which Tupac song?
I can't remember the fucking name of it, but whatever it was, I just referenced there.
What'd you say?
Talking about can't be sleazy. I don't want to sound sleazy, but tease me. I wonder if it's that easy.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I just know all eyes on me. Shorty gonna be a thug.
All eyes on me. Shorty gonna be a thug.
Say gonna be.
Say gonna be. Say gonna be. Shorty gonna be a thug.
And this is what we did for 30 minutes.
A bunch of pie-picking niggas.
Why did that happen? Why did that just happen?
Tupac! Holy shit! We were reciting Tupac.
Hang on, guys.
We're not racist?
I don't get to talk about my favorite game. I have to listen to fucking impromptu Tupac.
I love it. I love this.
From a pasty Irishman.
I'm so glad I was not drinking when you said that.
I don't know where my life is at this point. I don't know.
Oh boy. I guess yeah, right.
The least we could do is apologize. Sorry, guys.
We're sorry for reciting Tupac.
Yeah.
We know we're white. So, let's get into World of Warcraft. Although I get the distinct feeling that Bear still wants to talk about Final Fantasy 11. What do you have left to talk about? What
we've got cartography.
All right, you go for it. I'm gonna do my thing.
Yeah, you get out of here.
You love me.
Talk about games we've played.
You love me.
Way to throw him under the bus.
We should throw him under the bus after the shit he's pulling.
We can mention it right now.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, guys. We're gonna be frank here, okay? We're gonna be frank here. The reason Jack keeps leaving is he hasn't played these games we're talking about. So he has no fucking grounds for discussion.
Yeah, that's why he wants to get to WoW so bad.
That's why he wants to. Yeah, he's a fucking noob. He's a poser.
Fucking charlatan.
It's like, goddamn. You're fucking right on that one.
You're fucking right there. I'm finishing my beer.
Oh, really? I'm gonna finish my beer, but anyways. So, getting back to it. Final Fantasy then. Let's
It wasn't a rush.
No, we're gonna get out everything we want about this, and if we have to, we'll have a fucking whole segment on the next episode of World of Warcraft.
Yeah,
like an hour.
Yeah. It was not a rush to cap. We can say that was truth. Am I right?
What's that?
It was not a rush to cap.
Yeah, let's reiterate that point.
Yeah,
and that is a great point, though. It does deserve reiteration
because that is a very well-grounded argument against other MMOs.
Yeah, right? It really is.
Because why say the game starts at cap? Why don't you just start at captain if that's
they
where
found
the game starts?
Such a great balance. Mm-hmm. They really did. Because even in other games where it wasn't necessarily about endgame, it was you wanted to reach max level so you're more competitive.
Yeah.
So you in the end it resulted the same. You wanted to
breeze through it. Shit to do otherwise.
You didn't give a fuck. You didn't even enjoy it. And honestly, I don't know if you noticed, but when we were talking about more of the content in Diablo, I didn't comment on that. You know why? Right. I didn't fucking care about that as a kid. I just breezed through it.
Right.
Just because I wanted to reach max level and just straight dunk on these guys.
Got to dunk.
Yeah, I'm all about the dunking. Going just straight MJ in here.
Further world immersion has to do in Final Fantasy with keys and maps. Let's talk about maps first, because I love cartography. You couldn't just explore. You don't fill in your own map. Right? I mean, you have to buy a map, you have to get a map made, you have to do a quest to get a map. There are areas that you will spend hours and hours and hours in, and you don't have a map of it. Crawler's Nest?
I'm sorry, I was reading comments.
Right? You go without maps in that game. And what that forces you to do is, again, engage with the community in a very important way. Crawler's Nest in general, for people who haven't been there, was like an anthill. There were winding tunnels going back and forth, and it was very easy to get lost if you had a map. The problem was that the map for that area was really, really, really hard to get, and nobody had it. So what do you do when you get to the Crawler's Nest? You have somebody teach you how to navigate the Crawler's Nest, and your map is up here. Mm-hmm. You start forming mental maps of the entire world. You don't have an in-game map that's going to support what you need. And so not only are you putting players in the place of teachers, saying, well, let me show you how to get around. All the dangerous enemies are over here. It's going to be safe to take this tunnel. You're also forcing players to do something that we do in the real life world, which is create mental maps, become familiar with our environments instead of just having it handed to us. And there's a whole lore and passing down knowledge to the next generation of players that just works really, really well.
So I think this warrants some rebuttal right here. So Spooky says, rush to capping is a playstyle, not a game decision. It's the people who chose to race to cap. Games aren't intended by the developers to typically do that on average. Well, I would agree to that to a certain extent, and that extent ends rather early.
We got 2 new followers.
Read Bill's comment, because you can comment on this.
All right, so Bill says, not having a map seems like bad design.
No, not that one.
Okay, it's the people who choose to race to cap.
You gotta scroll up one. There's a preceding statement.
All right, let's see what Bill said.
Right
here. Rushing to game cap is a play style, not a game decision. No, I don't think that's true. Actually,
it is a game decision.
I would say I would say he is right to a certain extent, because there are some people, they don't give a fuck what the game is about. They just want to reach max level.
Well, right, but the thing is that the game is all MMOs today are designed in such a way that if you want to. Like, okay, so the best thing in... I'll just speak from my own experience. Wrath of the Lich King, right? So in Wrath of the Lich King...
I just want to say this explicitly. Mm-hmm. I am on the side that we are saying... We're not agreeing with that. I was just saying that...
Right. No, and I'm not totally agreeing with that, because the thing is like... in WoW especially. I'm just going to use WoW because it's the game with which I'm most familiar. So, throughout the whole game... You can't honestly, truly, and fully appreciate the world of Azeroth without going to Scarlet Monastery. You can't do it without going and killing Van Cleef. You can't. You just can't do all of these things without getting these intermediate dungeons. But the same thing can be said about Endgame. Like, you cannot play WoW if you... Like, there's almost a bigger incentive... There's a bigger incentive to play at the max level, because all of the good gear comes from heroic dungeons. All of the good mounts come from heroic dungeons. All of the top tier gear that you're ever going to get comes from, in the case of Burning Crusade, Karazhan. In the case of,
Yeah, we get it.
Vanilla Black Temple.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate here
and say that
what you're mentioning here isn't exclusive to people that are trying to enjoy the leveling process. People that are trying to breeze through the game still could have ran through Scarlet Monastery and the likes.
Well, yeah, you can, but there's at least at the very least 3 to 4 different types of players. There's the player that wants to have the experience of knowing what the world is like, being immersed in the world, knowing the mythology, knowing how each and every instance adds to the world at large, and how your individual person figures into a conglomerate, which is all of the other player characters, the NPCs, and the lore. Then there's the PvP character who wants to rush to the end, or wants to rush to level 19 and be a twink. Yeah. And basically just power level PvP, be the best at PvP, do all these things to be PvP, and have that be it. There's the player who wants to be the dungeon master. So you do all the dungeons, you do Scarlet Monastery, you do Van Cleef, you do all of these things. Hold, 1 second.
So I was asking about the volume. We could turn it down, and I don't know if that's something we could do. Real Nice Popo says he says I cannot even listen unless I have a headset because of the volume difference.
Oh, you need to turn it up?
Don't down.
Turn it down. All right, turn down. Then there's also the character who wants to rush to the end and be the dungeon master. You only want to run Black Temple. You only want to run Karazhan. You only want to run Onyxia's Lair. You only want to do these things. And then there's the character who just wants to play it for fun. Part of that is probably getting to the max level as fast as you can because that's where all of your guild mates are. There aren't a lot of guilds that are dedicated to just leveling. Most guilds are geared towards running high-end instances. And so the thing is, like, the game mechanics themselves create incentives for people to hit the max level in the most efficient way possible, and just skip all over the bullshit that you have to go for, you know,
like, bullshit.
Right. I mean, and that's the thing with Guild Wars. Guild Wars 2 is the epitome of just either you sign on, you go into the PvP server, and you fuck shit up because the thing is that everybody is the max level when you go into PvP. Or there's the person who says, I want to get into dungeons, and with dungeons, you have to be a certain level to get into those dungeons. And so it's either you don't level at all, and you go into PvP, or you level like with crazy fervor, and you become a PvE raider, and that's it. And the same is seriously true with WoW. There is no difference. There's no difference in WoW.
I want to bring something up that Hello Blue said a long time ago. Mm-hmm. Now, this is going all the way back to our conversation about maps.
Yeah.
Now, this is a critique I make about Dark Souls all the time. When people say it's difficult, I say it's difficult because the gameplay mechanics are shit.
They're definitely unsound.
They are bad, and that's why you die all the time. And just let me finish.
I have a counter to that, actually.
I think it's just badly put together, and it's not fun, and you have a very big disconnect from your character and what you're pressing. Sure. Now, I am saying that Hello Blue is saying very much the same thing insofar as maps, she says, are a gameplay oversight within Final Fantasy. She says that I am making positive a shitty aspect of a game, something that they looked over in development, and I'm like making out to be a positive. Yeah. And she says that's a flaw in the gameplay.
Okay.
What do you guys think?
Well, before we get to that, I do have to say that Joker Joe Star gave us a follow, and so we have to commemorate this moment in time.
3, 2, 1.
Get him, Skater!
Fuck yeah!
Joker Joe Star, welcome to the family. We hope that you have a good time. We're depraved as fuck.
Oh yeah.
But that's how we like it, and that's what you're gonna get.
Oh yeah.
Slightly inebriated.
Yeah. So let's go back to this question of.
And I've gotten in this fight with people because I love the Silent Hill series. You know that?
Yeah.
I've gotten in arguments because the mechanics fucking blow.
Well, in one succinct sentence, tell me what the stasis is between your view and what Hello Blue's view is. What is the heart of the matter?
I believe that making lore and topography difficult to attain
increases immersion.
And I mean like a typical, like, here's your map. I think that lessens the immersion. I think memorizing the world yourself makes it more immersive, and I don't think it was an oversight because you can get the maps.
Well,
like
yeah,
you can, they're there.
Right. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
So speaking of your point, Morrowind is a game where you have a world map, but the thing is that you have to fill in the gaps. Nothing is ever going to be given for you. And even when you have a quest marker that says, like, this is where you go,
I'm going to stop you
that's
there.
not true.
It's not a game where you fill in the gaps. The computer fills in the gaps as you go there. And you have no obligation to remember where you've
not with
been.
Morrowind. Not with Morrowind, though, because Morrowind, it says this is the approximate location in which this dungeon resides.
The relationship between your quest log and where you go, yeah, that's in your head.
Right.
But your map is open once you go there.
Well, then even then.
Yeah.
All right, so if we're talking about Daggerfall, right? Daggerfall does not have a dungeon map.
Mm-hmm.
Daggerfall is one of the old school D&D style RPGs where you do not get a map. If you're going to make a map, you have to put yourself in the shoes of your player character, and you have to make a map for yourself. Mm-hmm. Every room that you go into, you have to add it to your map. And that's the thing, like, that is an immersive quality. Mm-hmm. If you have to take the same cognitive space as your player character, that by definition is immersion. You have to roleplay. You have to be the person that you're controlling.
Yeah.
And the thing is that your player character doesn't get a map unless you go out and you buy one.
Yeah.
But even in the case, like, say you buy one, it's not going to be detailed. It's just a schema, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is like, if you or I were to go into a dungeon, right? Let's just say that a dungeon exists in our realm.
I get what you're saying.
We go into the dungeon, and we have to create the map because there isn't a map for us. It's not an oversight. It's
what the fuck were you getting at here?
It's an immersive tool. The thing
we're on a large tangent here. What is this?
This is not a tangent.
Immersion versus bad.
This
game
is immersion
mechanics.
versus
okay. So you're going
bad
really
game.
around the point to get to.
This is actually central to the point. The central argument is that your player character goes into a dungeon totally blind, but your character hasn't been there before. So you have to make the map. And so the thing is that your character is you. You have to make that map.
Yeah.
The game can't do it for you automatically because in real life you don't have a computer that's creating a map of the places that you
So it seems that
this happens in Dungeons and Dragons.
You guys are getting real intense, but let's welcome our new follower because I was trying to welcome our new, or not follower, at least someone new to the channel that said hello. He's from Mexico. Or is this? God damn, it's blowing up. It's just right up there.
So
right here. I can't even say the name.
Israel.
Cheeto.
Israel Shido. Israel, hola.
Hola,
bienvenidos.
¿De dónde eres?
Bienvenidos. Estamos muy feliz para.
Estamos muy pedo.
Para su participación.
Now, okay, so before we get
That's the extent of my Spanish.
So before we get to Blue's most recent statement, it seems that you're more in my mindset on this. Do you have anything to say to defend Blue, like on Blue's side of the argument?
Well, Blue's side is that if you don't have a mechanic that's creating a map where you've been, it's actually taking away from the fact that it basically says that your character is so stupid that he or she would not make a map. And I can get behind that too. I think that Oblivion and like the Elder Scrolls games make a good case. It's like if you go to like somebody could tell you where to go and they mark it on your map, right? Like you have this map and you say, "Hey, mark where I have to go," and they mark it. You go there, and then as you're dungeon crawling, you yourself make the whole map. So I can see that too. Yeah. Thank you, Bill. I was talking about my Spanish ass, but I was hoping that was good.
So she's saying that this is kind of like a nostalgia bomb for me, and it is. I love this game. This is one of my tops. It's the same thing with you and Morrowind. So I'm looking for your opinion as kind of a outsider.
Okay, so honestly for me, I think that Oblivion strikes a good balance. Or let's say Morrowind. Morrowind strikes a good balance. Like Morrowind, they say, go here. And that just means a general place within a quadrant of the map. And if you find a dungeon, you go inside that dungeon, you make the map wherever you go. Because that's what you and I would do, is people going in through a cave, right? And so Morrowind does it in so much as it doesn't tell you exactly where to go, but as you make progress, you make the map. And that is the perfect medium. So that's what I think.
Okay. You behind that. Leave it at that. They give you some maps, just not a few particularly difficult areas. You can buy maps in most towns, but there are some that you need to quest for and that you need to earn. As opposed to something like its successors that are just going to send you across.
That's what my point was right here. I was criticizing you guys of going on a tangent here because we're not talking about MMOs now. We're talking about Morrowind. That's an RPG, right?
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense to talk about the immersion, but it went kind of far into Morrowind because he was saying I think you're talking about two different things on maps in single versus MMO.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's not really fair to compare those.
It is. It isn't.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess it's better probably not to end on who's right or wrong. This is all a negotiation and opinion. And like I said, I fight with this all the time. I have friends who say Silent Hill 1 is so great because the mechanics are so bad it makes it scarier. And I say, you're full of shit because that game is really fucking hard to play and it doesn't make it scarier. It just makes it stupid.
Yeah.
Right. And this is kind of the argument I think that Hello Blue and I are having, saying that I think that is something that helps the game, saying it's something fucked up about the game. This is why I hate ranking.
So
it's far from objective.
To Israelis, I'm sorry, it's very difficult to pronounce your name. Israel Hito. Okay, we were not actually talking about RPGs specifically. We're talking about MMORPGs.
Like what you did, Jack.
And it just so happened to be that you tuned in on a part where we were drawing some parallels with Morrowind, which is an RPG, not an MMO. But yeah, this discussion is mainly on the evolution of MMOs.
We're talking
where MMOs have been, where they're going, what's wrong with them, what's been great with them.
If at any time cartography comes up on the show, you know we're fucking going to be on it for a half hour.
Yeah.
So,
all right, so let's get into the big guns. Because now we're at.
So to transition, obviously, we're gonna have to talk about what they did right, what they did wrong, what the next game.
It's going to be very similar to Ragnarok. What they did right.
Mind if I kill it?
World immersion. World immersion was done right. From the music to the aesthetic to what I believe the difficulty of traveling and mapping and all the shit like that. Keying, making it hard for you to get into another area. Being able to go to a different area that nobody else has ever seen before, and you don't have to go there, exploring the world because you want to, not because you have to, it makes for the most immersive MMO world that I've ever played in. Cons. Awful combat system.
What did you mention? Community. I guess it goes hand in hand with immersion, but
community
as well.
It
was a large factor.
World immersion, I think, fosters
beer and cartography. All right, so let's get into WoW.
No.
Let's not say anything bad about the game. Let's just move on.
Okay. So, for me, the two things that Final Fantasy did wrong.
God damn it!
What the fuck? You can't
fucking
just do
shit.
that.
Fuck.
Anyway, for me, the two major things that
it's my beautiful girlfriend. Hello, baby.
Wait, God damn it! I knew the two things in so fucking long now.
Probably combat system and
boom. There you go. Okay, the two things
partying.
I
love the party.
I love the fucking party. Anyways, I enjoyed that about that. Okay, the two things of why I wouldn't put this up as my favorite MMO of all time because it makes a strong case. It's like a tie, I'd say, between this and Ragnarok for number 2. Anyway, the combat system, I liked what they were trying to go for. Someone mentioned it earlier with the synergistic effects and being able to build off of the combat skills of your party, I guess. It was too slow, and WoW really built off of that. They had a
awful PvP system.
Thank you.
Just so bad.
He got straight to it.
Yeah.
Number 2, I'm sure you guys have noticed, it's a recurring theme for me. What started me in this is PvP. That's the central point of why I play these games, is just getting that satisfaction of knowing I just destroyed some guy. He's probably at home, and he's just having a terrible day now. He got dunked on so hard. Now he's almost like he's contemplating life. He's contemplating whether he wants to continue this game. Should I even do this anymore?
I want to kill
Should I make a new fucking character? I want to go and I want to punch this kid in the face. Is what he's saying about me, this little 12-year-old that just dunked on him.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so for me, PvP goes a long way. Yeah, there's not much to complain about there other than the fact that there wasn't a PvP system.
There was,
but I'm not going to fucking comment on it.
You're not even going to validate it.
I won't validate it.
I think that's
I
fair.
don't even recognize it as a PvP system.
It doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is... Okay, I'd go as far as to say is that's the worst part of that game for me, is the PvP system. Because the combat system is... Yeah, I was saying I can see some pros and cons behind it, whatever, but the PvP system being non-existent, essentially... No, not cool.
That's why I had to put it down.
Anyway, so those are my large complaints for Final Fantasy, and I think we could build off that for World of Warcraft, unless the Bear has some closing statements, or Jack.
Those are...
I guess you...
Those are the shitty parts.
I have closing statements.
You do?
I don't.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. World of Warcraft.
So I guess the big moment...
Go to World of Warcraft.
How fucking fitting is that we're transitioning, we have 10 people viewing now. It's just like people can feel it.
And they can feel it coming on.
Oh, the wow!
Final Fantasy 11, fantastic music. World of Warcraft!
Alright. World of Warcraft time. Guys, it's finally the time of the night when we get to talk about World of Warcraft. I cannot wait. Let's start with vanilla.
The modern MMO.
This is
the modern echelon.
This is MMOs. When people think MMOs, you say, what was the first big MMO that you sunk 10,000 hours into? Everybody says World of Warcraft.
Here's the thing about World of Warcraft 2 is the anticipation leading up to this game, because of that strong foundation that they had created for themselves, being Blizzard, with Warcraft 3, Warcraft 2, Diablo. Everyone knew that they put out solid fucking games. I remember Spike in the chat. I remember when we were at a game store, we see World of Warcraft coming this summer. Just those goosebumps that raised up, because you knew it was coming.
Yeah, I was really fucking excited.
Everyone knew what solid game was on the cusp.
It was going to be awesome.
Speaking of things with solid foundations that are now shitty and watered down, what are you drinking there?
I'm not going to say.
Yeah, I thought it was that.
I'm not going to say.
I thought it was that.
This will take away from our ethos. I got to keep it going.
Well, right? Can we show the stream and we'll say it's a nice golden IPA?
Nope.
Okay.
No, so we're not going to be assholes here.
Here's the thing about WoW.
Although I think my stomach is really starting to hurt me.
Yeah.
Already.
Okay. Have to leave it I think so much could be said about WoW that we're going to have to cover it from expansion to expansion, because they were largely different.
Good lord, they were.
No.
I will stop here. I will say that Wrath of the Lich King to Cataclysm, which is what I can speak for, are all the same fucking thing.
Not a large leap at all. Right. Yeah, of course.
Wrath and Cataclysm were the same.
We'll get to that.
In a big way.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. I didn't play Pandas, but I mean, come on.
You know what's kind of funny?
Did anybody play Mr. Pandora?
Pandas.
Pandas.
Mr. Pandas.
Mr. Pandas. I played for like a week.
Mr. Pandas. I didn't play it at all.
And that's the weakest for you, because usually you get back on for at least a few months.
He knows.
Yeah.
This guy fucking knows, because he ends up succumbing to it as well. Like, I end up talking to him. Like,
well, see, you couldn't get me into Pandas.
I was gonna play Kata, but I didn't play Kata. I stopped with Wrath of the Lich King.
I was done.
Well, that's
I was
pretty good.
Done.
It was good, right?
That
good
fucking
choice. Good.
I was done at Burning Crusade.
I wouldn't say that.
And then Steve got the heroin talk going, and
I
was
told
like,
him,
okay, I'll play
you gotta come back to this. It's fucking great.
And I played it. I quit after
just
3.
Like the old days.
I quit after 3 months. It fucking sucks. And then Cataclysm comes out. I'm like, I'm not fucking.
He came back and he went back and he's just like, Steve, what is wrong with you? You're a fucking addict. Why did you drag me into this world again?
And then again, he gets me with the heroin talk. I was actually able, through force of fucking will, to say no pandas.
Just come back, man.
And notice.
Wait! I did not try to talk you into the pandas.
You were playing pandas.
That's fucking bullshit. I played the trial. Okay, I played the trial.
And we noticed there's something missing here. Between these 2 expansions.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
That's the funny thing. I love that. I love that so much.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's hop into this then. Let's talk about vanilla.
Wow.
Groundbreaking.
All right, groundbreaking for fucking sure. All right, now, here's the thing. So, let's talk Vanilla WoW for a little bit. All right, Vanilla WoW.
But we're talking like a nice French vanilla. Like, it's flavorful. It's nice.
You enjoy that shit.
It's not good. It's not good. Right?
Okay.
What?
It's not something I was expecting.
What?
No. For me...
Are we...
No.
Are we talking like vanilla? Because there are patches on Vanilla WoW.
So here's the thing. I personally love Vanilla WoW.
Are we talking like launch WoW?
I know that Vanilla WoW was not good because paladins are crazy overpowered.
You got to answer my question.
Shamans, crazy overpowered. Hunters, crazy.
I don't know what you're talking about here.
What you do?
No, I don't. Are we talking about
Vanilla WoW?
Are we talking about
what's going on, Frost?
WoW or
launch WoW?
Latest patch Vanilla WoW?
All of it.
No.
All of it was seriously trying to unbug the things that happened in Vanilla, and Burning Crusade kind of mellowed it all out. And the thing that was kind of shitty about Burning Crusade is that it kind of equalized everyone, and nobody was good.
What?
What the fuck?
Nobody was good except for like rogues. I mean,
Wait,
like rogues
what?
were fucking good. But like, okay, so like Vanilla WoW, you guys remember, if you were a paladin, you could kill anyone.
Nope.
No, we're talking. Launch. You're right. Patches. You're
launch.
wrong.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
launch WoW.
Where am I wrong in patches?
Those later 2 or 3.
Dude, there
patches,
was so much.
There were so much major
yeah.
passes when they added AQ.
There were so many passes.
When they added
of
what's
powers?
the floating ziggurat?
Zul'Gurub.
No, the floating necropolis. with
Naxxramas.
Nax. When they added Nax, these were major patches where they changed gameplay. When they added, what else were major gameplay changes? Didn't they do a redux on like Blackrock as well?
Well, yeah, but it was never trickled down to the classes themselves.
Yeah,
the classes themselves are broken, right? So we have a bunch of Tauren shamans who
I don't think they were
fucking
broken.
bitches up.
I don't think they were
There's a
broken
bunch
at
of
all.
there's a bunch of human pallies who are fucking killing everyone.
Here's the thing.
I mean,
what I would say about that, when it came to things being broken, they took the right approach. Then they went with reductionist. It's always best to go with reduction. So what was wrong with it? Okay. When people are complaining, there's always going to be people complaining when you have that large of a community. But when it was warranted and they were complaining about something that was obviously overpowered, they approached it by reducing whatever was overpowered. And where they ran into trouble was later. They went the opposite way.
Escalation.
It was escalation, and it completely threw off the game because the game was not designed to get to numbers of that high where you're fucking dealing 120,000 K damage. And you have people rocking around like at 300k health, whatnot.
Yeah, it's not what the engine was built for.
Israel followed us, so let's give him a get him Skeeter, and B, a bienvenidos.
Bienvenidos!
All right, so A, 1, 2, 3,
Get him, Skeeter!
And then 3, 2, 1, bienvenidos, all right? So 3, 2, 1,
bienvenidos!
Way! Yeah.
Anyway,
we went there.
I would just like to tell you. I would tell you right now because you said you're from Mexico. I'd like to know exactly where you're from. My parents are actually both from Mexico. They were born in Mexico. My mom is from Jiquitan and my dad is from Guadalajara. So it's nice to have someone here from the homeland. Anyways, welcome and thank you for following us. Okay, so
Launch WoW was busted, especially paladins. Shaman sucked.
No, shamans were good.
Launch?
Was it
seriously, launch shamans were good.
Tell this guy.
No,
what's that?
No, Tauren shamans, they could rip your shit apart.
Launch shamans were good. No, they were. They were both overpowered. It was paladins and shamans.
No. Only Tauren shamans, not the troll shamans. The Taurens, they had a lot of racial abilities that made their shamans really fucking good.
Do you remember when you were playing as a paladin, Gloros with Crusader's aura, and there was that one joke Tauren paladin. Crusader. He had two shields. You remember him?
2 shields? You can't wield 2 shields.
Yeah, it was glitched. It was really weird.
Bill wants to speak Spanish with you.
What?
He just says he wants to speak Spanish with you.
Okay, maybe.
¿Qué quieres, güey? ¿Qué quieres? ¿Qué quieres, güey? Guadalajara. Joker's sister was born there. ¿Qué quieres?
Shamans were seriously
Mirando
until the Wind Fury patch.
Con su mamá, güey.
Wait,
su mamá.
Shamans were a joke until Wind Fury got buffed. The Wind Fury totem.
No. Here's the thing. Remember when they were just overpowered by the very nature of Frost Shock off the bat?
Or like Earth Shock?
Yeah, those two. Just because that was a different aspect
different wave?
Yeah.
I remember them being jokes.
I remember them being... Okay, here's the thing. I remember people talking about them being overpowered, but I never actually ran into an overpowered one then in the launch. I would straight dunk on them on Gloros.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I see where you're coming from.
Melee attacks.
I don't think it was largely evident yet that they were overpowered, but I remember hearing a lot of talk about them being the best class.
I would eat them on my Hunter, and Hunters sucked. Like... The only class that they could beat was like
Warrior. Warrior was the worst fucking class launch.
The Wars.
Well,
yeah,
see,
Warriors.
Actually, that reminds me too.
Warriors were really bad.
Warlocks in vanilla were really shitty. But after a patch, if you had a con flag Warlock, they fucked your shit.
And that's the thing. Vanilla WoW went through a lot of patches.
And they did that too. Like so basically, what would happen? They'd say, "Oh, like okay, Warlocks are the shittiest class. So what are we going to do? We're going to make Warlocks the best class." And then I was like, Warlocks are the best class now? Well, we have to nerf them to the bottom. We have to make like fucking
and that's what
Warriors the best.
That's what I was building upon in the beginning. They didn't take that approach in the beginning. They took that reductionist
They need a reductive EQ.
And that is what you need to do if you want to maintain balance in an MMORPG. You cannot... blow up who's considered to be the weakest link. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
And I think we found that out with WoW. Everyone will agree with me on this one, that later WoW is not a balanced game by any means.
Well, now this is what
you get into trouble like that. If you take the reductionist approach, you'll never be able to, because in itself you can't run into that trouble.
People hate
what was your guys' specialty? Which class? And we're opening this up to the chat too, because I know that almost everybody in the chat has played. And I know that Big Trouble, Hello Blue till today is a hunter. So what is your guys' specialty? What is the class that you excel at? For me, it was Shaman. Well, it was always Shaman. I was the best at Shaman, and it took me a really long time to get to that class. It was actually in Wrath of the Lich King. I played a Draenei female shaman, and I kicked ass with her.
Yes, we're talking about vanilla right now. I think this World of Warcraft, we're probably going to have to extend this on our next episode, unless we're going to 11 p.m. Yeah. We're going to cover it in terms of expansions. But yes, right now we're talking about specifically about vanilla. Yes, World of Warcraft talks. We were talking about MMOs.
This is the MMO continuity. We've been through like 4 to get to this point.
Yes, 3. It's been the evolution of MMOs, if you will.
So, Paladin was my class.
Thanks for stopping by, Electric Dwarf.
Thank you. Paladin, I played a bunch of classes, but
Paladin was your guy.
Paladin's the guy.
Paladin was my second. I was a Healadin.
Yeah.
Well, for me... It's honestly difficult for me to just say it.
Shut up, it's Warrior.
No, well, the thing is, I played competitively with so many different classes.
With Warlock?
No, beyond just that. They weren't even my classes, but I literally got paid to go on to people's characters and get him to a certain ranking in Arena because that's how nerdy I was at this time. Okay, I guess I should tell everyone I preface this. I had way too much fucking time on my hands. This is after I just defeated cancer. So it was post-surgery. I was being homeschooled. I had nothing else to fucking do. I was just playing WoW. And I became a huge nerd. A 2-time gladiator towards the second and third seasons. Second and third seasons, 2-time gladiator. And I guess at one point, just looking at ladder-based, I was the number 77th warrior in competitive arena. So that was pretty cool. Yeah. But I guess my specialty would definitely be warrior, but I also did go into warrior.
Why did our scroller crash?
Fury?
Arms. That was
arms. Okay.
Yeah.
Why did our scroller crash?
I don't know, but what I will say is that every class, like it was funny, like every single person I met, they had proficiencies within every single class. Like, so like my buddy, right? He was my guild mate, and we were both like captains in our guild. Basically, we weren't top tier officers, but we weren't bottom tier either. Like, we were kind of like middle managers of our guild, and we both had to adapt 2 classes. Like, so for me, I was the enhancement shaman, who was either 1 or 2 on the DPS meter, or I was the healer, who was 1 or 2 on the heals per second meter. But for him, it was like he was like 4 or 5 on the DPS meter, or he was the first tier tank. You know, and you kind of had like that sort of dynamic that you had to play. Like, you had to be good at a lot of things in order to play WoW effectively. You know.
Well, I'm glad you're here to talk about on that matter, because both of us can't really comment on the raids.
Yeah, I was a big raider.
I
was a huge raider.
Never raided.
Raiders Nation, dog.
I made it in the top tier guilds that weren't even known for PvP, just because they wanted me to be a ward general. They gave me that ranking in it, so I was just in charge of PvP and arena and whatnot. I never fucking raided competitively, at least. Like, I never got into the top tier raiding.
Let's see, so what's our chat saying?
Anyways, we are not on
I really got into the meat of WoW in Kata when I finally had a computer, and when I finally got it, I went from level 1 to 85, tanking through dungeons the whole way. I mean, tanking was always like it's a good way to
I think we didn't, just because we've been so excited because there's so much to talk about in terms of the progression of WoW. We didn't actually talk about anything to do with the fucking game yet in terms of like.
What did the game do right? What did it do wrong?
Balancing.
Oh, we're talking about classes, but we haven't actually talked about content within the game and what made you want to come back. And
we've been talking about it the whole time. Seamless.
Yeah.
It was the seamless one. Seamless world, walking through areas without having loading screens.
This is the first place I did it. Other than having to travel from, what is it, the 2 worlds.
The continents. I mean,
come on. That's
you're just being an asshole.
They haven't got to that technology yet. They couldn't fucking do that. They couldn't sustain that. Anyways, continue amongst yourselves. I'll be right back.
Get it. So, one of the things that I liked about World of Warcraft was that, for me, this might just be... I mean, this is like probably the most subjective thing I'm going to say about World of Warcraft, but I really liked all of the zones that I went to, with the exception of just like a couple. I didn't like Westfall because the leveling up mechanic was not good. I didn't
That's
like
weird. I have really good memories of Westfall.
Yeah, I didn't like Zangarmarsh
because of Van Cleef.
Oh yeah, Van Cleef is awesome, but like leveling up. Like doing the Killing Fields quest, like doing all those quests, like they suck balls. And
Zangarmarsh
sucked. I think Nessingwary's place, which is like the
Zangarmarsh, isn't that Burning Crusade?
It is.
Okay.
But then Nessingwary's place,
Stranglethorn Vale.
It's Stranglethorn Vale. Like, I didn't like Stranglethorn Vale. It took too long to.
No way, Stranglethorn Vale is the best. That's the PvP center
of
the world.
No, I liked it for that reason. Yeah. Like, when I played on a PvP server, I absolutely liked it.
It's like the goddamn Heart of Darkness. That's what it was. There's a fucking Apocalypse Now reference in there. Heart of Darkness.
There totally is, and it's great. But as like a place where I need to level up, I really fucking hated that place. Like, it sucked.
I fucking loved it,
and I didn't like it at all.
It wasn't cool at all.
But I mean, okay, so like Vanilla WoW is basically this like level engine. But the thing is like Vanilla WoW might as well not have exist, with the exception of one fucking thing that it did. It did better than any MMO in the history of fucking gaming.
Did we close me off here? I know.
The best single instance of gaming history in the MMO arena.
You're already getting hyperbolized pretty hard.
No, it's not hyperbole. It's not exaggeration. It's Alterac Valley. Alterac Valley in Vanilla WoW would last 9 to 13 hours.
Yeah.
You'd have to be extremely strategic. You had to know your shit. You had to be level 60. You had to have good gear. You had to have a tactical mind. You had to take over bases with 20 to 40 other people. You had to bottleneck. You had to be mindful of like summons that the other side could make. You had to think like in a completely different way. Alterac Valley in Vanilla WoW is the best gaming experience that I've ever had. More than Morrowind. More than Final Fantasy IX. Alterac Valley is like in the very beginning is like to me that's the epitome of gaming. You commit yourself.
Alterac.
Yeah, you commit yourself to one fucking battle. Do it.
In the very first launch, you actually had to walk your ass over to Alterac Mountains to partake in that. Mm-hmm. I don't think that we can delete WoW otherwise, just because.
I'm not saying that.
Those were actually your words.
Those were
video.
Okay, fine. I'm not going to delete.
We have that documented.
I'm not going to delete. Fuck you guys.
Aside from this,
fuck you.
Vanilla could be deleted.
All right, this motherfucker right here. This thing right here is for these two. It's for later documentation. Fuck you guys.
Okay,
fuck you.
Hang on here.
All right, what I'm saying. No, shut up. What I'm saying is that.
So what happens when he drinks?
Hey, fuck you.
That's unfair.
That's unfair.
God damn.
Mom and Dad are fighting. We're fighting. Mom and Dad are fighting.
Hey, you come here, you cute little man. Hey, come here. It's okay. Shh. Secret refuge in my breast. Okay. So basically,
tyrant.
I am a tyrant. Well, the thing is like, okay, so recently I read the Phaedrus, right? And I'm convinced that I lived 5,000 years ago as a sophist. And that I was reincarnated into a sophist tyrant.
Yeah,
that's going to go way over a lot of your heads.
Jesus Christ!
Because you're not classically trained rhetoricians, which is probably for the best. But what I'm going to say is like, okay, so Vanilla WoW in and of itself is a very fucking good experience, but Alterac Valley, I think personally, and I'm a raider by heart. I love Black Temple. I love AQ. I love ZG. I love all those things. But Alterac Valley is the best. Let's see.
Aliens.
Hashtag aliens. You fucking nailed it.
Aliens, get the fuck out. No,
don't get out.
Don't listen to him.
Don't do it.
He's drunk. Don't listen to him.
Hey, I'm not drunk.
It's the first thing every drunk person says.
Well, no. Let me rephrase it this way. Let me defamiliarize the way you're thinking. I am moved by the spirit of WoW.
Oh.
I'm moved by the spirit of WoW. All right. And so the thing is, like, okay, for me, I love Zul'Gurub, I love AQ, I love Karazhan, I love all these things. But the thing is that vanilla Alterac Valley, where it takes 9 to 13 hours,
for a ground war,
it doesn't get better than that. That's the epitome of what Warcraft means.
So check this out, dog.
Shut up.
Check this out. I'm going to go ahead and cut you off here because this is something we're very passionate about.
Are you Kanye West right now? Are you Kanye West?
Taylor Swift here.
I'm going to go ahead and cut you off there, dog.
Hey,
all right,
nobody likes
Kanye.
Nobody likes Kanye. So what we're saying.
No, but seriously though.
No, I'm sure I will segue into what you're saying.
This is going to be our first fist fight on the stream.
I'm going to fucking slap you in the face. No, all right. So I'm just going to allow me one complex sentence. Can I have that?
I'm going to count your clauses.
One complex sentence.
It better not be a fucking run-on.
I'm counting your clauses.
I don't make run-ons. I just don't.
Okay, I'm just saying. Better not be.
All right, there's going to be a semicolon, though.
All right, I want you to snap when that sentence starts.
All right. Okay.
Okay?
World of Warcraft is an
subject is verb.
Jesus Christ. Let me start over. Don't talk.
We could use Kanye right now. So
World of Warcraft. That's my girlfriend saying that, dude. That's really bad.
She knows.
World of Warcraft is an incredible game on an immersive level. on a character level, and on a topographical level. Semicolon. However.
Oh, you
however,
dirty bitch!
I told you it was a complex sentence!
Oh, you dirty little slut.
However, Vanilla WoW reaches its apex once a level 60 player character arrives into Altrock Valley. M-dash. That is.
Oh my god.
The player character actualizes all of his or her efforts.
Close that M-dash.
When he or she enters a 9 to 13 hour arena in which he or she has to fight in the arena of orc
that's an open
versus human, comma,
Oh my god.
horde or alliance, comma, and that is the essence of what it means to play a Warcraft game. There we go. I'm out. There we go.
Okay.
All right. That was one sentence.
Holy fuck! You didn't close the M-dash.
You actually didn't.
I did. And no, I didn't have to close the M-dash. It was an open M-dash. That was it was the precursor to a clause that necessitated a that is comma and a qualifier.
Okay. So, anyways, we're going to talk about Vanilla WoW because that is something I think we both.
I was talking about Vanilla WoW too. I was talking about Vanilla WoW. You look like Robert Smith of The Cure.
You do. You actually do. Okay. So, we're going to talk about what was right with Vanilla WoW first, at least. Because I think we will both say that Vanilla WoW was the strongest point of WoW for both of us.
Yeah.
I fucking love Vanilla WoW. We talk about it on drunken nights. I won't say we're drunken right now. Maybe he is, but we're not. Anyway, usually on drunken nights what happens is we get into these talks and we're like, man, I wish we had a great MMO to go back to right now.
Yeah.
And it always ends up talking about, we talk about Ragnarok. It's like our three loves. We talk about Ragnarok, we talk about Final Fantasy 11, and then we talk about WoW. More specifically, we say Vanilla WoW. I wish they could bring back
PvP,
a Vanilla WoW. So here's
some fairly balanced classes happening with frenetic PvP.
Anyways, here's the thing. I think that
Can I give you your
Vanilla WoW, what I think Vanilla WoW got right is that the zones were actually relevant in the sense that you found people in every zone you went to then, because it wasn't, I don't want to say it was so, it was small enough to conserve that, but at least when it blew up to the next expansions, when they changed the mechanics of the game where you could literally blast past like 10 levels in like a day, these zones were forgotten. And
Tourist,
yeah. And in Vanilla WoW, that didn't happen because our first experience, and we still remember, he knows what I'm about to talk about right now, our first real world experience in PvP came in Ashenville. And that shit reminded us, I mean, obviously didn't remind us, I'm not from fucking Vietnam or anything, but I mean, if we were talking about it, we're like, this feels like Vietnam.
Yeah. It's one of those things where, again, our knowledge of the geography helped us succeed in that, because we can get away from higher level people very easily because we know the ins and the outs. We know where the rivers are, where we could hide. We know where there's a big fucking tree that we could run behind. All kinds of shit like that to get away, Ashenvale was a fantastic place to
be back in the day. We're leading up to the next place where, I mean, you guys already know where I'm probably going with this. The fucking war grounds before there was an actual war
we
grounds.
talked about this before you
when I went to
while you were out.
Well, you guys obviously didn't talk about it enough since that was a rather short P. Stranglethorn Vale.
He hates it.
Well, I mean, I don't blame him.
It's a bad place to be if you're on a PvP server.
No, I don't blame him because I know a lot of people did hate it. For me, because I've already told you I'm a slut for PvP.
I did. I spread them for PvP.
Embrace that shit. Especially as a rogue, man.
A fucking chest.
Yeah, my first character, we're talking, I was a rogue.
He's a fucking caveman.
I got off on that shit. Alright.
Seems a fucking caveman.
I'm a fucking caveman!
Seriously though, Stranglethorn Vale as a rogue was a delight. It was a delight. You just go around just ruining these people's worlds.
Ganking noobs.
Ganking these noobs. Especially because, it's supposed to be...
Or the better part, killing people at higher level than you.
Oh my goodness.
Rolling on those fuckers.
Yeah, I mean, this could just be by the nature that the game was still new and people were still learning so much about it. But, encounters like that...
Dude, get your foot off the bed, bro. Shaking the camera.
Encounters like this, we're talking about killing people at higher levels, you didn't really run into this kind of thing in the next expansions, mainly because that jump that I was referring to earlier, this stupid seismic jump where they got like 3 times the amount of hit points and did like triple the damage, right?
Escalation.
So it just didn't even fucking matter if you were better than the player. You could never even get close to killing the guy.
Yeah, and even in Burning Crusade, it was like in Burning Crusade there was this very large, there was a stat boost.
Yeah,
but even then it was still acceptable,
right?
You know,
because I mean, remember when since vanilla it had such a long span, I guess, because it went through so many transitionary phases with the different patches, right? When we played, remember when we were little whores for it when we saw that the top tier class was Shaman at the time. And at this time, Shaman was ridiculously overpowered. Bear and I were just like,
oh, yeah,
you know what?
Was fantastic.
Fuck it, let's make some Shamans and just steamroll on some people right now.
That's what I did too.
Yeah.
And I made
it's not a bad choice.
I fucking killed. Shaman's my best character.
That was that particular patch in vanilla.
Yeah.
And go to Red Ridge.
Yes, exactly what I'm getting to.
Yeah.
And this goes back to the fact that zones weren't forgotten then. Zones were highly relevant. No matter where you went, you were going to find people there just by the fact that they were required to get from point A to point B. You didn't just blow them off like when you're just getting from level 60 to level 70 or whatever happened. You just got too easy and you just could avoid zones. Anyway, when we went to Red Ridge, we were these level 30 shamans, these orc shamans, and I'm sure as you guys know, Red Ridge started out like level 15 maybe, and it extended maybe to level 25 or so.
Yeah.
Right? To be accurate. And being that we were already experienced players, because we had our other characters that were level 60.
All maxed.
Yeah, we had our other characters level 60, and this is the time that WoW was blowing up. So these characters were just straight up. It was their first character. They were straight up noobs. And we go in there and just steamroll on them. And they bring in that little 60 guy. Remember, he was a paladin, I think.
Yeah.
And we killed him.
Yeah.
Or at least we kited him. I think we killed him. I do remember that.
Well, yeah, because the thing is, that was at a time when it was incredibly easy to kite paladins. I mean, they couldn't slow you down. And you could just run, and you could go quicker. And what we did was we'd cast Water Walking, run on the lake. He can't hit us.
Yeah.
Run back, Frost Shock, and he gets pissed off, comes back to the beach, fuck him up, run back on the lake.
For me, I'd like to finish on what Vanilla WoW was doing right. They were maintaining this recurring theme we've been talking about that hardcore playstyle. Maybe not so hardcore as Ragnarok or Final Fantasy, but you know what? You went into Battlegrounds, like he was saying in Alterac Valley and whatnot. These people would have some really great gear that they spent hours and hours, fucking weeks. Weeks. We're talking about they put in like months worth of gameplay.
To get Lieutenant.
Yeah, and I was
Lieutenant Commander.
I ended up getting fucking
what's the one? You got the next one, Commander.
Right, yeah. I got like Commander and Steve Dizzle.
I was the noob of all you guys, even though I'm like the 4th lowest ranked.
So yeah, well, guess what? In that game, you would get 2-shotted quite frequently. And people would bitch and bitch and bitch. They didn't really make that big of changes. They did that reductionist approach that I was talking about earlier. But still, throughout the game in vanilla, you would get 2-shotted. And I'm not going to defend that as to say that that's what makes an MMO better or whatnot. But for me, that it maintained that hardcore feel.
Well, here's the thing, is that there were ways to avoid being 2-shotted.
Right. Yeah, there were.
If you got 2-shotted, that was your own fucking fault.
Or my gear, maybe. Yeah. Right. And okay, here's the thing. Maybe in Burning Crusade, there might have been similar things to 2-shot, maybe like to 4-shot territory. When you're getting into the fucking pandas and shit, we're talking like 200 shot. Okay. Those motherfuckers. Everyone's a fucking tank.
Shot that motherfucker.
You see that?
Even the glass cannon is a 200 shot.
Yeah.
And
this
is also leading me into what went wrong. Is going back to the point of Ragnarok, where you had your class and you had to build it, and you're stuck with that class. In WoW, if you're playing a warrior, guess what? You're playing with a warrior. You're not going to be able to heal people. You're not going to be able to heal yourself. You're not going to be able to cast spells or whatnot. You were restricted to the realms of a warrior.
Yeah.
They started changing that, and it became far too cookie cutter as the game progressed. As we got into the later expansions, everyone has a fucking healing skill. Guess what?
Yeah. Everybody has an oh fuck button.
Everyone has
I'm
an
gonna
oh
die,
fuck
hit
button.
this, I'm not gonna die.
You guess what? In vanilla, the only person that had an oh fuck button? Paladin.
Now this is where we have to turn to the last game. Because this has all led to a logical extreme. And that logical extreme is Guild Wars 2. Which, for me, is the downfall of the Western modern RPG. Or MMO RPG. I think that Guild Wars 2 is the shittiest shitheel of a fucking game that has ever come out.
You're giving the downfall to GW2?
No, I'm not.
Because WoW was shitty before that.
Yeah, but I'm going to say that Guild Wars 2 took a lot of shitty ideas and made them seem like they were original.
Lena Fitz,
but they
has to get going.
Honestly,
Lena, thank you for stopping by. It's a pleasure to have you here.
I love you, baby. Good night. So, Guild Wars 2, I think, is a fucking abortion.
Are we done? Are we done with WoW?
Yeah, we're done with WoW.
Let's
get into Guild Wars 2.
We didn't get past vanilla.
Well, we could talk about WoW for seriously 3 hours.
Yeah, I thought that was the plan.
Well,
I thought it's
already 10.
I thought we were gonna extend in if we needed to. We were talking about that.
Yeah. Well, do you
guys
want to talk about WoW still, or do you want to talk about Guild Wars 2,
I think,
which is the death of the modern RPG?
You're hyperbolizing again.
No, it's I'm not. I seriously think that.
I
Guild
think
Wars
the death
2,
came earlier.
I think Guild Wars 2
nailed
the coffin. I think it nailed the coffin.
I'll agree.
It didn't make the coffin, but it nailed it.
I'll agree with that.
Guild Wars 2 is fucking terrible.
WoW was the birth and death of the modern.
It was the birth and death of modern MMO.
Okay, if we want to move on to Guild Wars, let's hit then bullet points on what are in-depth bullet points.
So how did WoW kill the RPG? All right, I think that WoW killed the RPG. Honestly, and this might at first seem like a stupid thing to say, but with expectations. I think that WoW set up a world in which we all had to be extremely engaged, minimally handheld, and thematically beaten over the head. And the thing is that all of the games that came after WoW did one thing really well. So it's like Guild Wars 2. They beat you over the head with the leveling system. They're like, it's gonna be fun. Don't worry, you're gonna get over it. But it didn't do anything else well. There are some games where they beat you over the head with the thematics, and that's it. Like, you don't get anything past that. There are games where they beat you over the head with mechanics, but the story sucks, and everything else is just kind of done, right? So people who have, or developers who have created indie games or MMOs, it doesn't matter if it's a big or small project, people who have created MMOs after the fact of WoW, they've taken the best parts of WoW, they've tried to condense them into their most pure forms, and they have failed at every turn. Because the thing is like, it doesn't matter. You can't meet the gap between having a leveling system being extremely engaging and having the end game be extremely engaging. You can't have both. Well, you can, but most people don't have both. You can't have a class system that isn't overpowered. There is always going to be one system that's overpowered, and then the power is just going to shift. It's going to do a big pendulum, right? And every 3 months... You go. All right, I'll let you finish. All right, so the thing is like, you're never going to have a class system, which is the same as WoW, because there's always going to be one class that's really high above everybody else. They're going to nerf them. Everybody else is going to be powerful. They're going to nerf those. And it's just going to be a nerf war, right? You're never going to have PvP the way that WoW portrayed PvP. it was extremely balanced. It's like, you know, Guild Wars 2 said that we're going to take PvP into our own hands, and PvP is going to be Guild Wars 2, and that's what it's going to go down in history for. But the PvP fucking sucks. Like, every single fucking game that has come after WoW says we're going to take one aspect of WoW and stretch it to its logical extreme. And then when that happens, it's fucking shit because nobody wants the extreme. They want the flexibility to be a casual player, to be a hardcore gamer, to be a PvE guy, to be a PvP guy, to be a role-playing guy, to be somebody who just wants to get to the end. Like, everybody wants their own certain thing, but the thing is that games nowadays are catered to one sort of gamer. So if you want to be this PvP tycoon, you go to Guild Wars 2. And you might find some success because it's geared towards people who really like PvP. And if you're really good at it naturally, it doesn't matter what your gear is, you're just better at that. If you're into PvE, you play something like EverQuest, and you just do some PvE shit, and that's for you, but it's for nobody else. You go into the role-playing aspects. You play some Elder Scrolls, and you really like that, but it's not really the thing for everyone, you know? It's like, people took WoW, and they disseminated it into, like, these little tiny things, and that's what games are now. Like, they're just tiny, tiny little microcosms of this huge game that appealed to everyone, and we can never, ever have it again. I'll shut the fuck up now. Because that was probably not cogent. Was it cogent?
It was something.
Well,
was it cogent, though?
It was cogent.
Okay.
A little repetitive, but, you know, that means the cogency was...
But you need to beat people over the head with examples to expose the power of the end name.
So first off, we're going to address this to the hashtag aliens, because you're saying that Vanilla WoW's over 10 fucking years old, nobody fucking cares in chat, move on.
We're talking about the development here of MMOs.
We're, I don't know if you just tuned in, but we're going through the evolution of MMOs. This isn't even the oldest game we've covered. This is actually, fourth. To this point...
Hey, Spice Master, Paul Atreides is in here. He is the master of all spices.
Oh?
He's Spice Master, but I'm assuming
Welcome, thank you.
He's Paul Atreides.
I love spices.
Thank you.
Yeah, so actually up to this point, this is the most recent game we're covering. Because we're going in chronological order here.
Yeah.
And
we'll move to Guild Wars next.
I think it warrants this discussion because of how long it existed. We're talking, you just said it. You just proved my fucking point by saying it's 10 years old.
Yeah.
Guess what? How many people are still playing that game?
It's still the most played, right?
Friday, Alex Toma.
Still the most played. So, within that nature, obviously, it would have the most content to talk about.
Yeah.
Anyways, here. So, moving on, Spike brought up a great point. What my closing statement would be for WoW would be that
it opened the door for everything.
Exactly. It opened the door for everything, and thing is,
promptly shut it.
When you're talking about opening the door for everything, you're talking about a capitalistic society where they're trying to maintain this player base. When people start complaining, they're not doing what they were sought out to do originally for their game. They're going for what's going to keep the player base playing.
Yeah.
So they start catering. You know what? The raiders don't like this. Let's fix this. You know what? The PvPers don't like this. Well, let's fix this. You know what? The people that don't have enough time for the game are saying it's too difficult. Well, let's go ahead and fix that too, but we'll still try to maintain a level of difficulty for the end gamers. And it just completely ruined what they were going for in that game.
Something that we talked about was like good gameplay choices, little by little by little, kind of taking the character out of the game, you know? What's happening?
Spice Master, aka Paul Atreides, said he's just trying to view some lower viewer channels.
Aw.
Which is definitely what we are. If we're anything, we're low residency.
Not for long.
We're going viral.
We're going places. Anyway, well, thank you for stopping by anyway.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by, dude. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Every view means something.
Every small patch taking character out of the game, because individually they're all really good decisions, actually. We talked about this, something like with hunters. I played a hunter. You had your pet and you had ammo. and those things, and you had to feed your pet to keep the pet happy, right? And at first that's cool. It's immersive.
We gotta follow.
Bye, Spice Master. 3, 2, 1, Game Skater! Thank you for that.
Thank you.
It's a pain in the ass to feed your pet. Okay, well, let's take that out. Good decision, right? Ammo's a pain in the ass. Why do only hunters have to buy ammo? You know, and they're expendable? That's fucking stupid. Let's get rid of ammo. Rogues, you need blind powder to do this and that.
Yep.
You need to level your lockpick.
You're exactly right.
All these little fucking things
are what make an MMORPG what it is.
The problem is, every one of those changes individually were good changes. Those were things people wanted. I mean, all those things were pain in the asses.
Right, and that's one of those things you don't realize until it's happened after the fact.
But once you get to the end of the goddamn road, you're like, where did the character go?
Right.
What happened?
And they didn't maintain that sense of character. They weren't unique in any sense by the end of the game.
Yeah. Beyond immersion, I think what degraded about this game was just blatant imbalance and pandering to everyone.
Exactly, and that goes back to my point of what I was saying of them trying to cater to everyone.
I mean, yeah.
And it created this large imbalance.
And I mean, we're PvPers, so of course we're going to think that imbalance kills a game. Balance makes a game.
Yeah, and here's the thing, is that they were trying to juggle two games at once towards the end there, because when they catered towards the raiders, whatever they did largely affected us as PvPers. And what they did for us largely affected them.
If you favored the PvPers, then
and
the raiders
by the nature of the game, it was an RPG game. Yeah. People played that game as casual players. They played to raid. They played to get on after work, after a long day of stress. They would log on and they would do a 40-man raid, at least in vanilla WoW, and towards the end of 20-man raids, whatever have you. They would do this as their escape, and raids was largely what the game was based around. Yeah. So for us,
somebody's complimenting your shirt.
Do you like my shirt?
So for us,
it says California Bear because I'm a bear.
Because he's a bear and he's from California. Oh, all right. So we have a lot of new viewers. All right. So everybody say hello to Faux Life.
Hey, Faux Life.
Faux Life.
Faux Life.
Hey, 714. That
beer and video games. Faux Life.
Faux Life. Oh. All right, so Faux Life 714 leads me to believe that this person is from Orange County because 714 is Orange County's area code.
Yeah.
Then we have Meltzu, something like that. This one right here.
Yeah, that guy. This
one. Melts. We'll just say Melts. Melts. Thank you for the Sunfire channel. And then Spice Mash was Paul Atreides. Yeah. He's already followed us. Cool. But thank you. And then hashtag aliens. Hashtag aliens. I don't know, but aliens.
Oh, you know what? It's totally fine. I'm sure without a frame of reference, it did look like we were going on a rant for a while there on Vanilla WoW.
Quite fucking frankly, even with reference, that was a rant.
All right, so Bill says, still a can we please discuss PvE?
No.
I can.
Okay, because we were actually closing on PvP.
We were closing in, on the PvP.
Balance is where it's at. It was a fight between PvEers and PvPers because guess what? In a raid, your healer needs to heal 20,000.
Right.
Like they need to heal that.
I can easily do that.
These bosses are
because the bosses are hitting you that hard. In PvP, that doesn't fucking work. The healers are OP. Shit like that happens. You know.
Yeah, by the nature of it, the boss is supposed to be substantially stronger than you. So in order to
you need healers to hang with that deep.
Yeah, exactly.
That
to alleviate
sense.
that, healers got buffs.
It doesn't work in Battlegrounds.
And that spiraled out of control.
As far as balance goes, I played Tor for like a year and a half.
What's that?
I played like Star Wars The Old Republic for like a year, maybe 2 years, because it was a fucking WoW clone. I like WoW. But it was balanced.
It was the closest thing to what he loved about WoW.
It was a balance, and I know it wasn't original. I know it was a complete ripoff. They all knew, the people who made it.
No one's trying to defend that.
Yeah, nobody was trying to say it wasn't, but it was balanced, and that's the fucking key for a PvPer.
And then I wouldn't even go as far as to say that Vanilla WoW was balanced. It's hard to land that on any game. There's no game that actually is balanced. You're always going to find people complaining.
Star Wars was balanced.
I didn't play enough of it, so I can't comment on that.
So Bill says, PvE is a legit aspect of MMOs now because casual players do matter. Don't forget the design choices that were made to let people not be hardcore and still enjoy the visuals and voice acting and stuff.
Right, and I think we're covering that ground right now because they demanded the attention. Of course, they were the majority in that game.
Yeah.
But that's what threw the game off, the imbalancement of trying to juggle all these different facets.
Well, yeah, and I think that any game where they have to compete with 1 million hardcore fans, and 1 million to 5 million hardcore players, you're going to have a struggle where you're trying to appease two very distinct audiences, and the act of appeasing that audience is inherently going to make the game bad. You know,
yeah. It's like impossible.
You might as well have to make a game for the casual and the game for the hardcore person.
That's exactly what Spike was saying earlier.
But you can't do that logistically.
An interesting
both are
proposition,
multi-million-dollar
is
costs.
that
exactly.
the creator of Street Fighter said that
it's a valid point. It really
is. For the
is.
casuals and create one for the
Because the thing is with these other games we were talking about, oh yeah, sure, they had some casual players.
Yeah.
But you couldn't just walk around and tell people, or just assume people played it. Like, you can just go around like, oh, you play Final Fantasy 11. They'll be like, oh, no, what's that game? Never heard of it. With WoW, it became so fucking casual. I'm referring back to when I was in high school, because that's when I played it largely.
Yeah, hardcore.
Like, at lunchtime, people would just be saying, oh, so how far are you in WoW? Or like, what are you doing? What's your favorite character in WoW? It was just like assumed almost.
Yeah.
And with that territory, it comes trying to please everyone, because you want to maintain that amount of players. Other games didn't have to worry about that. Ragnarok, you think they had to worry about that? No. They were only appealing to hardcore players.
So you want to talk about PvE?
Hey, well, I'm going to talk about this. So Hello Boo says she and Big Trouble were talking about, she was talking with Spooky Donkey about having a game night and streaming game night from her and Big Trouble's house. And it's going to involve you, me, and Tapans.
Tapans.
And it's going to have mac and cheese.
I'll agree to that as long as you guys say Tapans when I'm there.
Yeah.
Are we gonna stream some game night from?
I want to play some fucking Twitchy games with Bill. I want to play Mega Man with him. I want to play some Mega Man with him.
It would be a board game that we would stream.
Oh, tabletop.
Yeah, a tabletop game that we would stream from Hello Blue and Big Trouble's house.
That's interesting.
We'd go there, we'd drink, we'd have some mac and cheese.
Maybe we could get like a camera on us, a camera overhead, top down.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, what do you think?
Where are we gonna stream that?
We're gonna stream from Hello Blue.
No. What? Twitch? Is that cool with Twitch?
Yeah.
Can we do that?
Yeah. They have Cards Against Humanity and all that stuff.
Okay.
Like, they just have, like, we could say just general board talk game.
That sounds fun. Sure.
Yeah, what Spooky Donkey said is it's a great point too.
Well, make a.
You got to read it. So for everyone,
what's the date? Just tell us what the date is. What do you want? Hey, Alex Toma, you should come up too. I know you're in California.
Damn, it's gonna be a beer and video games party.
So, anyways, what Spooky Donkey says here is that I'm sure it was in reference to us talking about the balance of powers. That's what WoW got right. The curve was perfect for people who never played an MMO before, like me. And they had that really well in the beginning because they had this inviting nature. It was accessible, where they kind of did hold your hand for a bit. And they also maintained some sense of difficulty, at least. Items weren't that easily handed out, like we were talking about. You had to play for weeks. That's something that was taken from other games, that hardcore aspect. But the skills weren't as hardcore as Ragnarok. It was more accessible. So they found this happy medium, sort of. But once it blew up, and I'm sure they didn't even anticipate it would blow up to the point that it did, they had to cater to those casual players that they brought in. And largely it was to complaints. So it started just collapsing on itself.
You're going to make the economical decision.
Right, of course.
Why wouldn't you? You know?
And that's what made it such a multi-dimensional game, because players like us at first could be so satisfied, and players like you who never played an MMO could easily make the transition.
So we should actually backtrack this to be like, this isn't going to be a game talk that it's like, everything is like the filthy casual fault, because the fact of the fucking matter is that we're all casual gamers now. Like, we don't, we have jobs. We can't just fucking pour all our time into these. So what is, what's...
Exactly. Hashtag aliens. Exactly. They had that happy medium. Progress, things weren't just handed out in vanilla, and that's what I think the central point is.
Hard. It was much harder.
And it was a nice balance, too, because it was difficult, but it wasn't to the point
it wasn't crazy, It wasn't
what I was talking about with Ragnarok With Ragnarok, we're talking someone trying to get from level 98 to 99. We're talking about a week to get 2% out of 100%, obviously. And we're talking of him playing like a 9 to 5 job. That is too hardcore for most people's taste. I won't even defend that. Yeah. That's why I loved it so much. It was cool. I respected the hell out of it. I never hit 99. But WoW found that nice medium. You didn't just get to 60. You actually felt satisfied when you got to 60. That wasn't that easy. You know? And then there were still things to do after at 60. That's what I think they found so many of the aspects that were working for games of the past and introduced so many other elements that were new and why it made it so groundbreaking. It's
hard to hit that medium, man.
It is. It's very difficult. Yeah, as you guys can tell, I get fucking passionate about WoW. I fucking love the shit out of that. 2-time X-Gladiator, what's up?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go start playing fucking Warlords of Draenor.
Okay, so Full Life is out of here. 714. Thanks for tuning in, Full Life. We appreciate it. Hope to see you again.
Alright, so what I'm gonna do right now. Well.
I got everything I think I had out for the most part with what was...
We could dig deeper if we want, but do we want to?
We've gone on for
we can go for another episode. I think we should just cut it off here. Although, here's the thing. What we could do is I'm going to cut it off right now. So we're getting off stream. We're going to get off stream.
Full Life has one question.
Life, what's up?
Hit us with it, man. Go ahead and answer it. But yeah, exactly what Spike says too. Like, you're hitting all the points on this, because wow, what we were talking about, and I think this would go on to the extension of the episode. Of it wasn't unattainable to be good in the game. People were good. People were they were better. They separated themselves from the players that were maybe, I don't want to keep saying casuals, but players that didn't put enough time into it. So players that put not a hardcore amounts of time, they were good, and they could feel that in the game in PvP and PvE and whatnot. But then there were players that could be superior. It still left room for that. People remember the ass candy, like you used to like to say it. But that thing wasn't just handed out. You had to get it.
So I just sent a tweet to Hello Blue. Call me when the stream goes down, okay? I sent you my my telephone
BVG TV party.
All right, so we are from California. We're from Southern California. We're a outskirt of Los Angeles.
I guess we should just tell more or less what the channel's about, because we do have a lot of viewers, and I guess it'd be appropriate now.
Yeah. So I'll go ahead and do that. All right. So on Wednesday from 7 to 10 Pacific Standard Time, we have a day where we play a game. We talk about the game and the thematics, the characters, all of the things that are good about the game, and we pair it with a beer. So we have a beer review that leads into a thematic explication of what the game means. And then on Friday, we do a Let's Play. And right now we're currently doing Tales of Symphonia. And the Let's Play after that is going to be XCOM.
Enemy
Within.
Also, I should add that on Wednesdays and Fridays, that'll primarily be these two.
It's just us two. Yeah.
I'm more of a guest for the last 2 weeks on Wednesdays. Yeah. I might be here. It might be recurring, but it's not.
So the thing is that this Saturday, we're gonna have a stream at your place, right? Sunday. We're gonna play Dying Light.
Sunday.
It's
Sunday. We're on Sunday.
So from this week on, all right, every Sunday at Steve's house, who is also Tep Hans. He's going to have a stream of a shooter game. So whether it's Titanfall, or it's Battlefield 4,
and never Counter-Strike.
This week it happens to be Evil Within.
Oh, Dying Light.
I'm sorry. Dying Light.
We do realize Dying Light isn't strictly like an FPS as in the general sense.
Yeah. So I mean, we're gonna play Dying Light. We're gonna play that on Sunday in the afternoon. We're gonna play that. So Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays you can catch us online. We're also accepting donations right now for a new processor. We're $25 out of $200 towards that goal. And then we're also having a giveaway on Steam. It's as soon as we get 300 followers, we're going to have a giveaway in which we give away a $30 Steam game of your choice once we get to 300 followers. Our Twitter handle is @beer_videogames. Our YouTube is Beer Video Games TV. And you should just tune in every week because
Sunday,
that's the best.
He asked what time. I guess it would be smart to set Sunday. What is it? It's gonna be 3 p.m. Right? We're gonna go for it tentatively, but more or less concrete.
Let's aim for 3.
We're gonna set it for 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So the 3 p.m. will be shooters with Steve.
3 p.m. until question
mark.
Ooh.
Yeah, we don't
it's
even
the long play, dog.
On last Saturday, we fucking went for like 8 hours.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
It was really good. All right, guys. So we'll see you on Friday, which is 2 days from now,
and Sunday.
We'll see you. Yeah, we'll see you from 3
Tune
to 5
Sunday.
3 to 5 on Saturday, and then 3 to whenever on Sunday. But in the meantime, follow us on Twitter. Talk to us. We'll talk to you. Go on our YouTube. Follow us. But the more pressing matter is that in the meantime, you keep your games good, and you keep that beer craft. All right? And we'll see you guys.
And thanks for all the new followers, all the new people tuned in.
All the new followers. Guido for the donation. And for the rest of the night, the rest of all you guys.
We may or may not extend on this topic for next week's episode.
We'll see.
Fucking see.
Thanks again, guys.
Right. Cheers.
Take it easy.
Cheers and good night.
Good night.